Window, Actions. Now what? If you haven't figured it out, we are in Photoshop's Actions panel. If we do know what they are, have we tried hard enough to realize their value? Photoshop Actions are a perfect tool for those of us who need consistent and specific results, especially when it comes to batching, creating Photoshop droplets, retouching, enhancing, and so on. An action is a series of recorded commands. From the Actions panel, we can easily record all of our moves in Photoshop that can be applied at a later time. There is no need for us to do the same thing twice in Photoshop when a well-recorded action can do the trick. For this tutorial, I have created an action which we'll use to enhance our subject's eyes. You can download this action from our Facebook wall. If you've downloaded the action, locate it and double-click on it. And notice your new action will pop up right here. Click on the arrow next to it. And then expand your panel. Now let's open our picture. Next, I'm going to click on Eyes right here, and at the bottom of this panel, I am going to click on Play. Notice what's going on right here in my Layers panel. I am going to go to the Layers panel and click on the layer mask that's labeled White Eye. Then I'm going to select the Brush tool, and then I'll make it a little bit smaller. Next, I am going to set my foreground to white and my background to black. To reset your colors, you can hit the D key on your keyboard, and to toggle between white and black, you can hit the X key on your keyboard. With white, we are going to paint our effect in, and with black, we are going to subtract it just in case we mess up. If the effect is too strong, we can change the opacity of our brush to a different value. Now I'm going to get rid of this color cast in her eye. Notice that whatever I do, it's being recorded right here in this layer mask. Now I'm going to brighten this eye a little bit, so I'm going to click on Brighter Eye. And then I'm going to do the same thing. And I think this is a little too strong, so I'm going to undo it, change the opacity to, let's say, 37, and then I'll paint. Now I'm going to add some contrast, so I'll move up and then do the same thing. But I think I need to increase the opacity of my brush to about, let's make it 80 or 81. Next, I'm going to focus on the catch light that's located right here. So I'll click on Catch Light. I'll change the opacity to about, let's make it 50. And then I'll paint. The last thing I want to do is I'm going to deepen the iris. So I'll click right here, make my brush a little bigger, set my opacity to about 80, and then I'll simply click here a few times. This is what we had before, and this is what we have now. Now I'm going to show you how you can create your own action. Let's head over to the Actions panel, and at the bottom we can click on this little folder. Let's name it Skin. Next, we are going to create a new action. So simply click on this little icon right here. If you wish, you can name it or leave it the way it is. I'll just call it Apply. And then I'll hit Record. And notice that Photoshop is now going to be recording everything that we do. I'm going to duplicate my layer. Then I'm going to go to Filter, Blur, Surface Blur, and then I'll make a few adjustments right here. I'll click OK. Then I'll go to Filter, Filter Gallery, Texture, Texturizer, and then I'll select Sandstone, and perhaps I'm going to change the scaling, and then I'll click OK. Next, I'm going to fade this filter a little bit, so I'm going to go to Edit, Fade Filter Gallery, and maybe I'll fade it by, let's see, 35%. And notice that whatever I do, it's being recorded right here. Then I'm going to go to Filter, Noise, and I'll add a little bit of noise to this image. And I'll select Monochromatic, and then I'll change the amount to about 1. As you can see, we have created a little bit of texture. Then I'm going to go to the bottom of my Layers panel, and I'm going to click on Add Layer Mask. Notice that we have a mask right here. So I'm going to click on my mask, and then on my keyboard I'm going to hit Control-I or Command-I if you're on a Mac. And notice that what we have created has gone away, but that's fine. Right here we can end this action, so I'm going to click on Stop. Now let's just delete this, go back to Apply, and then click Play. Now we are going to do what we have done earlier in this tutorial. I'll use the brush tool, foreground to white, my background to black. Perhaps this time I'll change the opacity to about 35. I'll make my brush a little bigger, and then I'll paint in my effect. And notice what it's doing. I'm going to apply it only where it needs to be applied, or where I think it needs to be applied. And that's how it works. If I wish, I can click on the skin folder that I have created right here, and then right here I can click on this little icon, and I can save my action. I can email it to my friends and share it with other people. Before I finish, I want to apply the other action that I've created earlier. So what I'm going to do is I'll click on the bottom layer. On my keyboard I'll hit Control-J. If you're on a Mac, hit Command-J. I'll hold the Shift key, and then I'll select the top layer, and then I'm going to hit Control-E or Command-E if you're on a Mac. And then I'm going to collapse this one right here, and I'll go to my I Delight action that I've created, and then I'll simply play it. And then I'll just do what I did earlier real fast. This is what we had before, and this is what we have now. So if you want to be consistent in your work, if you want to apply a specific effect consistently to all of your pictures, you can create any action that you want, and you can apply it to any of your images, just like I have done here. Head over to our Facebook wall where you can download these two actions that I've created for free. See you next week.